Hey folks, I'm Chuck Black. We're doing Quokka-Prime from scratch, and this is a checkpoint to see what progress we have made so far. So let's take stock of where we are. We've got this nice application that is refreshing inside this terminal window. It's showing us when we last heard from these devices that we have discovered. It's telling us the response time. It's color coding things red if we haven't heard from them on the last monitoring cycle. So this is looking pretty good. It actually looks a lot like our host monitoring solution from Quokka-Prime, like the host monitoring portion of that. And is that pretty much what we have? Well, in a word, no. Basically what we've done is we have built a lot of software, some amount of software anyway, inside this host monitor piece, but it's entirely standalone. There is no Flask host server. The display and the monitor are all together here, bunched into one application. So don't think that we have a Quokka-Prime type solution yet. We're going to be having to expand what we've done in order to have it use the REST API that we're going to create. We're going to do a Flask application server that we will be calling our Quokka-Prime server or whatever, but it's going to be listening to REST requests. Eventually, we will be going through this, and not only will we have hosts, but we will have devices and services, and not only will we be storing the data, but we'll be storing it where we should, which is in a database. So we have a ways to go here, and we're not even to this point yet, but I think you'll agree this is a pretty good start. This is a nice little application. And if we look at it, let's look at the code that we have here. This is our code that we've implemented. We've implemented discovery of hosts, which includes functionality that uses SCAPI to do this ARP ping functionality for a given subnet address. It's not printing it out right now, but we are storing it into host dictionaries. And then what we're doing is we are actually creating a hosts dictionary that it contains all of the hosts, and we're returning that. At some point we call print hosts. That's the functionality that we were looking at here that's showing us how nicely we can print this stuff. It's gone through a few revisions, but right now it's got this nice clear functionality. It prints the heading, and then it goes through and it prints all of the devices that have been discovered, and it colorizes them. We have some functionality that uses regular expressions, so we are extracting from our ping the response time, the average response time for the 3 pings that we're doing. So we're actually using fairly sophisticated regular expression, not super sophisticated obviously, but we are using some of the functionality that is grouping in order to extract that and to get the response time. We have a function that's called ping host, which we took. The main functionality is from a concurrent version over here in the real host display, but we're happily not doing the concurrency yet. We're just calling ping host for every host, and we're using this subprocess check output in order to perform a ping function. And if it's successful, we set availability, we set response time, and we set last heard. And if there's an exception, we've got some try except functionality going on here. If we capture this call process error, that means that our ping failed, and we're just going to set availability equal to false. We obviously have a function that's going to ping all the hosts, and all it does is it does this. Remember, I made a couple times errors that I didn't do hosts.values. That's because hosts is a dictionary of hosts, the key being the what is the key? I think it's the host name. That's what I did before. Anyway, this is giving us a list of all of the values, which is the actual hosts, and then I call ping host on that. Here's our main function that we call. I'm setting the subnet address. Technically, we could use this functionality and pass in as an argument to our application the subnet address, and it would discover devices on that. In fact, maybe that would be something that be useful to add. I discover hosts. Notice I do this only once, so it's not as sophisticated as the functionality that exists over in my actual host monitor in that. I do discovery like once an hour or something like that. But here we do it just once, and we print them out, and then we go through and we do ping hosts and print hosts. And then in order to have that nice countdown that you see here, that's not counting down right now because I'm pinging the host, but it counts down from my time, which is 60 right now, to 0 or to 1. It prints out how much time is remaining. And then we also wrote this code intelligently so that if I want to, I can just go and hit Control C and have this end what it is doing. So it's a pretty useful application. I think you'll agree. It does not, as I said, do this whole functionality. We still need to add our web application that's going to have a REST API and store data, and then we can separate the display from the monitor and make it a little bit nicer. But for right now, we've got this host monitoring functionality, and it is a good start. Hey, thanks for watching this episode on Quokka-Prime from Scratch. I'm Chuck Black. If you do have questions or comments, feel free to leave a message with this video. I'm also on Twitter at Chuck A. Black. If you want to send email with a question, comment, or just to say hi, the email address you can reach me at is python.52.weeks@gmail.com. Also, remember to subscribe to this channel. I hope these lessons are helping you to achieve your goals towards becoming a real software developer. So long for now, and see you at the next episode.